Welcome back, Ducks and Kings fans, to Royally Quacked, episode 52. We're officially a year old, Cody. What do you think?
It's nice to know that this at least lasted a year.
Well, if nobody else has had any fun, I've had fun.
Oh, I've had a blast.
I mean, how many dads can say they do a podcast with their son?
Yeah,
And,
that's very true.
So I feel truly blessed by it. And we both have this severe love for hockey, and it goes beyond our teams.
Yes.
So, anyways, and then we're gonna start off a year two's episode, and I'll be in the lovely state of Texas,
The Lone Star State.
and I'm hoping that I can introduce you all to my daughter. Well, she's actually here right now, but not here. She's in California, and she's flying back with us on Monday to go to Texas and introduce you to my grandkids. I'm very proud of them. So, anyways, weird to do a podcast 2 days in a row.
I think we've only ever done it once before, and that was last year for the trade deadline.
True. So, it's been a little longer than a year. We started it was right after my birthday in February, our first episode last year.
Yeah, we did one, and then we did our second episode, and then the next day we did our trade deadline bonus episode.
Yeah. So we've had a couple bonus episodes, and but we did also have a few weeks we missed for certain reasons. We were just not able to do it. So
Yeah. But
so,
all right, you want to get into news?
We can get into news.
Or do you want to try something different?
Like what?
Do you want to do the games first and then do news?
Sure.
Or just do.
Well, yeah. Since this is the week, get your act together or go home.
Yeah.
Might be the title episode. Get your act together or go home. You like it?
Yeah.
I'm specifically talking about the Los Angeles Kings on that aspect, because this week sucks so far. So am I starting?
Yeah, you're starting. While you're doing that, I need to grab something real quick before, because I forgot to grab something. But you go ahead and start with your Kings game.
Certainly. Okay.
And take your time if I'm not back. Hopefully, I should be back within a minute or two.
Bye, Cody.
All right, I'll be right back. Hold on.
He's not here right now, so welcome to Gary's podcast about the LA Kings. No, just kidding. Anyways, the first game last week was on March 1st, and we played St. Louis in St. Louis. And this is within a 9-day period playing the St. Louis Blues 3 times. Probably a big mistake. Welcome back to Gary's podcast for the LA Kings, Cody.
Oh, okay. So I'm just non-existent now. Got it.
No, you're existent. You're just part of my podcast now. Anyways,
I expect you to start doing all the editing and all that.
No, that's not happening.
I know. I know that's not happening.
Anyway, so we're in St. Louis. We're playing the Blues. It starts off good. Kevin Fiala scores his 24th goal on a power play from Doughty, his 4th, and Kopitar his 34th at the 3:43 mark to put the Kings up 1-0. And that was the highlight of the whole game, just to be honest with you so far. Colton Parayko, who played for Team Canada, a gold medal winning for the Four Nations face-off, Colton Parayko. He had his 15th goal from Kyrou, his 24th, and Holloway his 26th at the 9:37 mark on a wrist shot to tie the game 1-1. Then Pavel Bukovic?
We've been over this.
I know, but I'm terrible with names.
I'm not even looking at it, and I already know. Pavel Bunevich. God,
Bu-
now you're tongue tying me now.
Perfect.
Ah,
My whole tongue twisting thing is working.
Buchnevich. Buchnevich.
Buchnevich. I knew I was saying it wrong. Buchnevich.
Yeah,
He
no
scored his
kidding.
13th from Thomas, his 33rd, and Neighbors his 15th at the 1807 mark to put St. Louis up 2-1. So after one, it's 2-1 St. Louis. In the second period, Zach Bolduc scored his 9th from Joseph, his 7th on a wrist shot at the 9:27 mark to put St. Louis up 3-1. Then we run into the third period, and ex-Oiler Dylan Holloway scored his 19th from Braden Shen, his 25th, and Suter his 11th on a wrist shot at the 134 mark to finalize the scoring and put St. Louis up 4-1. I mean, St. Louis with those offer sheets they put out have done well.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, stealing those two guys from the Oilers has really definitely bolstered their team. So here are the stats. St. Louis outshot the Kings 34-26. Kings did win the faceoffs 51-49%. The Kings were actually 1-for-1 on the power play. 100%. St. Louis 0-for-2. But hits St. Louis 34-25. Block shots 20-10. The giveaways were St. Louis 16, the Kings 13, and the takeaways were 6 for St. Louis, 1 for the Kings. Let's go to the 3 stars of the game. I go, you have an outside chance that maybe, no, you don't have a chance that it's a Kings in there. Buchnevich.
Buchnevich.
Buchnevich. I'm going to have to try to remember that.
Even Christina said it right.
I didn't hear Christina.
I know. I'm just joking.
Shut up. He's with one. He was the third star with 1 goal. Kyrou was the second star with an assist, and Holloway was the number 1 star with 1 goal and 1 assist. I got to say, St. Louis is Dallas to us right now. So that was the first game. Am I doing? Let's just do all 3.
If you want to,
sure. Let's do it. Get it over with, because I can't say I've been the worst week so far this season for us. So on the 3rd, we go to Chicago and play the Bedards. And you know what? Honestly, I don't even think Bedard scored anything in this game, but I'll double check that because we're going to go through the scoring right now. So in the first period, the scoring started off with ex-King Alec Martinez getting his 5th from Bertuzzi's 16th on a wrist shot at the 10:57 mark. Finally, the captain scored again. I think it had been about 14 games. He went goalless, but he got his 14th from Turcotte, his 14th, and Kempe his 24th to tie the score 1-1 at the 11:39 mark on a wrist shot. And after one period, it's Kings 1, Blackhawks 1. Let's go to the second period. Second period, the scoring starts off with Mikheyev from Teravainen. I can say Teravainen. From Teravainen is 33rd and Donato is 23rd at the 46-second mark on a wrist shot to put Chicago up 2-1. Then Del Mastro got a second from Maroon. And you know what? There's a guy. There's a role player that never played for the Kings. I wish would have. Maroon he just wins.
Former Duck.
Yeah, but he won with Tampa Bay. I know he won another Stanley Cup with someone else.
St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. Okay. It was his 11th assist, and Reichel his 13th on a wrist shot at the 13:30 mark to put Chicago up 3-1. And this was the game where ex-Kings killed us. Andres Anathasiu scored
Bless you.
his scored his first from Doc. Doc is fourth
Sorry, I made myself laugh on that one.
at the 120 mark on a snapshot to put the Blackhawks up 4-1. And to finish the scoring, Donato got his 22nd on an empty netter from Mikheyev and Teravainen at the 1830 mark. It was, like I said, an empty netter on a wrist shot. And Chicago wins 5-1. How do you lose to Chicago without Bedard scoring? I don't understand it.
It makes sense if you don't think about it, Dad.
Now, here's where I'm going to go to the stats, and you tell me if this just doesn't sound right. Shots on goal, Kings 42, Blackhawks 19. Faceoffs, 58% to 42%. Kings were 0 for 1 on the power play. Chicago's 0 for 2. Hits, the Kings 13, Blackhawks 11. Only place other than scoring goals that the Chicago really beats us on is block shots 19-12. I mean, that's still not an extreme thing. I mean, they also only gave away 11. We gave away 12. But we had 8 takeaways and they had 5. Yet we lose 5-1 and outshoot them by that much. Something's wrong.
You got goalied by the new Blackhawk
Spencer,
Spencer Knight.
yeah.
Apparently he was just on one that night.
Well, yeah, I listened to the game. Oh my God, he was like everywhere. Well, Mikheyev was the number 3 star with a goal and assist. Martinez was the number 2 star with a goal. And of course, the number 1 goal, Spencer Knight. He only gave up 1 goal, and his save percentage was .976. That's excellent. So, not only are the Kings 0 for 2, but so am I. Ever since I picked on Cody, my predictions have gone down the toilet.
I'm pretty sure mine were pretty crappy too.
I will have to verify that. I was over 3. I'm almost at 50%, and I was 13 or 14 games over 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's been terrible. Anyways, just goes to show you how you go through streaks. Obviously, the Kings are going through the same bad streak. So St. Louis now visits the Kings. And this is on the 5th. And this is the last game. You know, and nothing worse, but in the first period, you get scored upon by your neighbor. I mean, it was Jake Neighbors. He got his 16th from Parayko, his 20th, on a backhanded shot at the 1850 mark. Okay, so you give up a goal with a minute and 10 seconds left in the period. The only really good thing I thought about this game is Byfield finally scored again. Also in the first period, about 32 seconds later, he got his 12th from Fiala, his 16th, and Gavrikov, his 18th, to tie the score on a wrist shot. So after one period, we are tied once again. Then in the second period, the scoring starts off with Trevor Moore getting his 12th from Anderson, his 11th, and Fogle, his 16th, on a tip-in at the 10-14 mark to put the Kings up 2-1. And then Robert Thomas gets his 17th on the power play from
Buchnevich,
his 30th, and Fowler, ex-Duck Cam Fowler, got his 16th assist at the 19-13 mark to tie the game 2-2. Third period, no scoring, people. So we go to overtime. Overtime, no goals. We start off with Kempe. Kempe, no goal. Our neighbor scores another goal on us in the shootout.
It's not a very good neighbor.
Yeah, well, not really. Well, not for us. He scores, and then Trevor Moore gets saved. Braden Shen gets saved. Fiala scores a goal. Robert Thomas finishes it and scores a goal. So St. Louis won the shootout 2-1, and the Kings lose another game. Let's go to the 3 stars of the game. And this wasn't Kemper's fault. He was the 3rd star. I mean, his goals against was 185 for the game. His save percentage was 933. That's good. Neighbors, had 1 goal, but he also had a shootout goal, so he was the number 2 star. And Robert Thomas also had a goal, and then he scored the game winner in the shootout also. So those are the 3 stars of the game, and that was the last game of the week to either get it together or go home.
You should do. You should probably do about your neighbor problem. It's not a sponsor, but you should probably call State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Okay.
No? All right.
Now, how funny is that? Because what did I do for 23 years?
Really bad dad jokes.
Besides the bad dad jokes.
I don't
23
know
years at Farmers Insurance, arch rival of State Farm. So why would I want to do that?
I'm just saying it was a neighbor problem. I was trying to help you.
Yeah, maybe I should call Jake.
Yeah.
I mean, he should pop up right now if I say his name. Where are you? Oh, wait, no. I want Jimmy Fallon brushing his teeth.
Jimmy Fallon brushing his teeth?
You haven't seen that commercial?
Apparently not. I don't know why I would be watching Jimmy Fallon.
All of a sudden, Jimmy Fallon's like in a robe. He's brushing his teeth, and I can't remember what was said before that, but he's brushing his teeth. He goes, "Oh, you want Jake from State Farm?" And then he popped up, and then Jimmy Fallon disappears, but forgot his toothbrush. And they go, "Hey, Jimmy Fallon, you forgot your toothbrush." And he came back, got his toothbrush, brushed his teeth a little bit, and disappeared. It's a good commercial.
Okay.
Well, hey, are we gonna get paid for this commercial?
I don't know. I think they're gonna I think they're gonna make us pay for how bad we sponsored that.
Okay, it's up to Duck Games now.
Yep. So the game I'm dreading the most about talking about. So last Saturday, I was at this game. And this was so embarrassing because me and my wife, we went with a couple of friends to this game. And for one of the friends, it was his first hockey game. So, we had a good time. Of course, we tried to go to Brewery X, but it seems like everyone and their mom was trying to go there and eat and drink and stuff like that. So we ended up going to Golden Road. We had a good time, good food, and everything. Everything started off great until the puck dropped, pretty much. So the Ducks lose this one in an embarrassing fashion, 6-3 to the Chicago Blackhawks. I actually can call them the Blackhawks because in this game, Bedard didn't do anything either. So, believe it or not, yeah, 6 goals and not 1 point from Bedard. So, let's get into this so I can get this done and over with.
Excuse me.
Bless you. All right. First goal of the game. We had no scoring in the first period. It was a great first period. Loved it. And then we get to the second period. Chicago gets the scoring started with Wyatt Kaiser gets his second of the year. Assist from Teravainen and Mikheyev. So it's 1-0 Chicago. And then a good 50 seconds later, Uncle Leo is what they call him now. Uncle Leo gets his 12th of the season to tie it up for the Ducks on a nice backhanded shot. Assist from Frankie V. So now we're tied 1-1. And then former Duck and also one of Mom's old favorite Ducks, Patrick Maroon gets his 4th of the season on the power play. Yep, you heard that right. On the power play. So now it's 2-1 Chicago at the 10:24 mark.
What a maroon.
Yeah, right. There we go. Well, that's probably another 23 years of bad jokes right there, too. And then about 3 minutes later, Teuvo Teravainen gets his 14th of the year to make it 3-1 Chicago. But Jackson Lacombe at the 14:41 mark scores on a wrist shot to make it 3-2 Chicago. So everything. Second period, we're like, okay, we're only one goal down. We're doing good. Everything's gonna be fine. Then all hell broke loose right here at the fourth 53 mark. Lucas Reichel gets his sixth of the year to make it 4-2 Chicago. Then at the 7:40 mark, Ryan Donato gets his 20th of the season on the power play. So it's 5-2 Chicago. And all right, here's a disclaimer here. I'm not someone that likes to leave the game early at all. You can ask my wife. She probably hates that about me. Right, babe? She said yes if you guys couldn't hear her. I like to stay and watch. But after that fifth goal, I told myself, I swear to God, if Chicago scores again, I'm ready to leave. And at the 10:56 mark, Ryan Donato scores. Was it again? No, it was his first. Oh yeah, scores again. And my wife literally turns and looks at me. I'm like, she's like, "You ready to leave?" I'm like, "Yep," because I was so done at that point watching this game. It was just embarrassing. A team that we should have just demolished, and we just got completely outplayed. And then at the 17-16 mark, Uncle Leo scores his 13th of the year with assists from Brian Dulum, his 14th assist of the year. Now former Duck, but we'll get to that more of that later. So the Ducks lose this one 6-3. Shots on goal. Ducks had a 31-24 advantage. The face-off percentage 60-40. Power play 0 for 2 for Anaheim, 2 for 4 for Chicago. And I believe Chicago at one point actually, yeah, they did. Did they have a 5-on-3? I could have sworn they had a 5-on-3. I'm trying to look. I don't see it. I could have sworn they had a 5-on-3 penalty, but maybe I'm mistaken. But yeah, it's just all around horrible game by the Ducks. We lose the season series to Chicago, 2-3. Like, so we can take teams like, who do we dominate this year? We beat Dallas 2 out of 3 times, but we can't beat the Bedards. Like, tell me how that makes sense. But 3 stars of the game. I better not see one Duck on this. The only good thing about this game was Leo scoring 2 goals and Jacob Truba's hit. That's all I'm going to say on that. The 3 stars were all Chicago. Number 3 star was Kaiser with the 1 goal. Soderblom, the goalie, only gave up 3 goals. He was the number 2 star, and then Ryan Donato had 2 goals and 1 assist for 3 points. Oh God, I'm so glad I'm done talking about this game. So, all right, next one. Okay, total complete opposite game right here. The Ducks now play the Edmonton Oilers in Edmonton. But who else gets the scoring start in this one? Leon Draisaitl scores on, what do you know? The power play. So he gets his 45th of the year. That's a lot. I want to say he's leading the league in goals right now. So the scoring started at the 10:05 mark for Edmonton, and then 2 minutes later, Uncle Leo again gets his 14th of the year, unassisted, by the way. And he ties it up 1-1. And then here's what we call the kid line, just dominated after this. Mason McTavish scores his 15th of the year to make it 2-1 Anaheim at the 13:37 mark on a snapshot. Honestly, I think that was just Picker just, I don't know what the hell. I don't know if he didn't see it or not, but that was just a bad goal he gave up. Then Sam Colangelo got his 2nd goal of the season. On the Mason McTavish goal, Cutter and Lacombe got the assist on that. Colangelo scored on a tip-in at the 18:26 mark to make it 3-1 Anaheim. Lacombe and Cutter got the assist on that one again. And then Mason McTavish again gets his 16th of the year from assist from Colangelo and Cutter Gauthier to make it 4-1 Anaheim at the 18:38 mark on a nice snapshot. Now, here's the line. You have McTavish centering Colangelo and Cutter. Who do you think's the oldest player on that line, Dad?
What was the question again?
All right. We have a line of Cutter Gauthier, Mason McTavish, and Sam Colangelo. Who's the oldest player on that line?
McTavish?
No, Colangelo.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Not by much, but he's the veteran of the. I wouldn't say veteran. He's the old man of the line of that line, and I'm really liking that line right now.
Okay.
So we go to this second period, and yeah, it's already 4-1 Anaheim, just after one period. In the second period, after Edmonton pulls Pickard and Stuart Skinner comes in the second, Ryan Strome gets his 10th of the year assist from Lacombe and Vetrano to make it 5-1 Anaheim. And now it's 5-1 going into the third period. Alex Killorn gets his 12th of the year assist from Zegras and Carlson. And I can tell you that Zegras pass to Killorn was a thing of beauty. Killorn was just streaking right down, and Zegras just perfectly diagonal pass right over the blue line so Killorn wouldn't go offside. And Killorn just had pretty much just a breakaway. And he just put it past Skinner on that. So now it's 6-1 Anaheim, and then Connor McJesus McDavid scores his 23rd of the year on the power play to make it 6-2, and that is your final. 6-2 in Edmonton. The Ducks did get outshot this game 35-27. We lost in the faceoff department 56-44. Again, 0 for 2 on the power play and 0 for 2 on the penalty kill for the Ducks as well. We did get out hit 28-21.
So when you say 0 for 2, meaning Edmonton scored 2 goals.
Yes, Edmonton was 2 for 2 on the power play.
And yet they beat them.
And yet we beat them.
And they got outshot.
Outshot, out face-offed.
Everything.
Out hit.
Everything.
More block shots.
And they win 6-2.
Giveaways.
And they win 6-2.
Well, you want to know why? Because the goalies are just Edmonton's just not playing well, and the goalies are not very good in Edmonton right now.
Yeah. I have Skinner.
Yeah. I think my worst goalie is still better than your best goalie. Maybe. I don't know.
Who's your best or worst goalie?
Let's see if I can pull it up right now. Hold on that.
Now that you bring it up.
I know. Let's see. I'm trying to. I have it right here. Hold on. My goalies are Decord, Wolf, Hellebuck, and Stolars.
I got Markstrom.
Oh, okay. Okay, Markstrom's good then.
I mean, he just came back from the injured reserve.
Yeah.
Who else do I have? I can't even remember now.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna keep going. So far, the Ducks are leading the season series 2-1, but we still got one more game left in Anaheim, and that will be on April 7th. So now to the 3 stars, and now you got all the kids pretty much on here. Cutter Gauthier was the number 3 star with 3 assists for 3 points. Lacombe also 3 assists for 3 points as the number 2 star. And number 1 was Mason McTavish with 2 goals in this game. I guess goals is what helps you get the highest star, apparently.
True.
All right, next game. We go to the Ducks play a back-to-back, and they go to Vancouver. All right. Sam Colangelo gets the scoring started again for Anaheim, getting his third goal, and Cutter and McTavish getting the assist, and that's at the 13:21 mark on a tip-in shot. So it's 1-0 Anaheim after 1. So now we move into the second period, and this is where the Ducks just lost it. Jake DePress got his 22nd of the year on the power play at the 1:05 mark, so pretty early on in the second period. So now we're tied 1-1, and then Teddy Bluger at the 10:33 mark gets his 6th of the season to make it 2-1 Vancouver. And then Carson Soucy, now ex Canuck, makes it 3-1 Vancouver at the 18:51 mark on a slap shot. So now it's 3-1 Vancouver heading into the third period. And Brian Dumoulin, former Duck now, gets his last goal as a Duck. He an assist from Lundestrom and Leeson. Nice little rebound wrist shot that he got, and so here's your final 3-2 Vancouver over the Anaheim Ducks. Like I said, not a very good game for this one too. It's just the top three stats will say it all. The shots on goal, 36 to 16. We got outshot by more goals than we actually got. That's bad. We got outshot by 20 shots and we only had 16. Face-offs, 70 to 30.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's really bad.
really bad. Power play. The Ducks were 0 for 2 and the Canucks were 1 for 5. Penalty minutes, we had 21 to their 15. We got out-hit. The Canucks had more block shots, more giveaways, and more takeaways. Vancouver leads the season series 2-1. So we do have one more chance to tie the season series, and that will be on April 5th and in Vancouver. So 3 stars of the game. Again, not a single Duck in sight. Pedersen was the number 3 star. He actually did look better in this game. But he like I said, he didn't produce any points, but he actually, I want to say he won a lot of the face-offs. He was a big face-off guy for Vancouver in this game. Teddy Bluger with the 1 goal and 1 point for the 2nd star. And then Philip Hronik had 2 assists for 2 points as the number 1 star. So the Ducks followed to Vancouver 3 goals to 2. And now to the last game that happened last night. Yeah, last night. All right, first period. This was before we get started. This was Cam Fowler's first game back in Anaheim since the trade. I love the tribute. And like I said, thank you, Cam, for all your years in Anaheim. And like I said, I wish him the best of luck in St. Louis. So, first period, Alexei. Oh God, Toropchenko scores his 2nd of the year to make it 1-0 St. Louis. And then Sam Colangelo, again, his 3rd game up with the Ducks, scores on his 3rd straight game. He scores on the power play. We had Lacombe and McTavish getting the assist, and it was a deflected shot, which honestly I still don't think it was deflected, but I digress. So we're tied 1-1 after 1. And then in the second period, Braden Shen who does not get traded. He gets his 13th of the year on a wrist shot to make it 2-1 St. Louis. And now it is 2-1 St. Louis going into the third period. And then Zach Bulldog gets his 11th of the season and makes it 3-1 St. Louis. And then Frankie V. You good over there?
Got a little tickle.
Frankie V gets his 19th of the season with Troy Terry getting the assists, and now it's 3-2 St. Louis at the pretty much at the 17 mark. Then Braden Shen gets an empty net goal to make it his 2nd goal of the game, and now it's 4-2 St. Louis. But Alex Killorn gets his 13th of the year on a tip-in shot, and Troy Terry and Frank Vetrano get the assist on this. So now it's 4-3 St. Louis. But it's not over. The Ducks pull their goalie again, and the Ducks are pressing, and then they get a goal. McTavish scores, only for the buzzer to go off 1 second beforehand. They literally had to review the goal, and it turns out that it zeroed out before the puck crossed the line, so it's no goal. Ducks lose this one 4-3 to the St. Louis Blues. I know there was one. Which goal was it? In the Vancouver game. I know my mom's gonna want me to talk about this one. All right, the goalie interference goal that happened that pretty much changed the game. It was a controversial goal. I could see, and like I said, I'm gonna actually not agree and agree with the call at the same time. I can see why they allowed the goal because Minchkov did force Kiefer Sherwood. I want Kiefer Kerwood. Yeah, Kiefer Sherwood into the goal, which made contact with Dostal. But the thing is, since Minchikov pushed him in, that's what kind of negated the goalie interference after that because he was forced in by a defenseman. So when you're forced in by defensemen, goalie interference is pretty much out the window. Although Sherwood had plenty of time to get out of there and move. And he did make contact with Dostal as the puck was coming. So at the same time, it's goalie interference, but not goalie interference. But then again, nobody knows what goalie interference is. I don't even think the referees even know. Or even the people in Toronto even know what goalie interference is. So like I said, I can see why they allowed it. I still don't like it. So, but let me finish with the 3 stars of the game for this one. Trevor Zegras was the number 3 star. I still don't know why he's the number 3 star. I would think Lacombe or Terry, who had 2 assists, or Frank Vadrano, who had a goal and assist. But Trevor Zegras is the number 3 star. Dylan Holloway was the number 2 star with 1 goal, or I'm sorry, 1 assist. Wow, I don't understand because Braden Shen had 2 goals in this game. Interesting. And Fowler had 2 assists too. So okay. And then Jordan Bennington was great in this game. I'm not gonna deny that. He did allow three goals, but he pretty much stood on his head in this game. So the Ducks lose this one 3-2 over the St. Louis Blues. So all right, now we can get into news. You want to go since I've been talking for the last half hour, feels like?
Sure. Just let me gather up my notes here. So, obviously, we know we got a new player during the trade deadline. We talked about it yesterday. So, hope if you want more information on the new acquisition, although I didn't see him in the lineup tonight. Possible, maybe he's still traveling to get there because they're playing in about 13 minutes at the Staples Center. So, but one big piece of news is, boy, did we screw up Armenian night at crypto.com. And I'm just going to read this summarization of what happened. The Los Angeles Kings apologize for Armenian History Night controversy. We, the LA Kings, and our partners at Rank and Rally want to sincerely apologize to all of our friends in the Armenian community, because they have a huge community in Los Angeles and beyond, for their oversight that may have inadvertently impacted your experience during what should have been a joyous celebration. The King said in a statement, we source, stock, and sell merchandise from a select list of merchandise manufacturers that are officially licensed by the league, and we were unaware of items, productions, or origins. So more than 1 million Armenians perished in the death marches and massacres and deportations that began in 1915 in what many considered to be an act of genocide. The country of Turkey has rejected that characterization, but what was the product that was made in Turkey. So it was kind of a slap in the face to the Armenians. The Kings obviously learned a valuable lesson from it, and they are been very apologetic about it. I mean, because they do put on great promotions, at crypto.com, just like the Ducks do at the pond. But maybe they need to research before they have a special night and don't get it manufactured from like your country of the biggest enemy of the country. So, um, other news is we did recall Hellenius, and he did play from the rain. He's already been sent back. It didn't really help because we lost the game. Um, but there hasn't been a whole lot of other news. I mean, the only other news is um, uh, Mikko Rantanen supposedly, although I can't substantiate this, rejected a trade to the Kings. So that probably happened before he ended up going to Dallas. I think that would have been something awesome. A guy who can actually score some goals. Because what can't we do? We can't score goals. Chicago had 5. We had 1. St. Louis 4. We had 1. Then we lost to them 3-2. We can't seem to beat anybody. We don't score more than 2 goals in the last 3 games. So that's pretty much Kings news for the week. Oh, I did want to talk about one other thing before I forget. I was looking up as Cody was giving his games, and there is a mention in there of what the lineup is going to be tonight. And I want to share that with you. Let me just grab that real quick. They're still going to have the top line of Kopitar, Kempe, and Turcotte, Byfield, Laferriere, and Fiala, Deneau, Moore, and Fogle, Thomas, Janot, and Lewis is the 4th line. Here's where it gets different, the defensive pairs. Anderson and Doughty, Edmondson and Clark, and Gavrikov and Spence. Basically, Clark is, if he does play, has been the 7th defenseman. Hasn't been playing much. He's been scratched. And, if we're not going to win games, why are we taking our future and just setting him on the bench or only playing him 5 minutes in a game? Let's let him grow. Let him go through this grind. Let him start learning. I mean, look at the last 2 seasons Seagrass had after having 2 great seasons. He didn't have great seasons, but they're still putting him out there, right? And I think he's been playing really well here of late as an example, for the Ducks. So let's let Clark play. So what if we're not going to win, let's get our future guys the most playing time and the most lessons learned so they can become a veteran and be somebody who can end up being an all-star or at least, a player who can contribute consistently to the future of the Kings. So that's kind of a nice rant. My rant was going to be a lot meaner, but I'm on vacation, so maybe that just took some of the punch out of my rant. I go, why aren't we playing this kid? I mean, I like Spence and all, but Moverari's playing over him. Moverari isn't going to be a star. He could play. He might be a guy who takes over, especially if Gavrikov ends up not signing with us. But let's play Clark. Come on, Hiller.
Your number 1 points for defenseman right now, and he's not even playing.
Yeah. Well, I know he's struggled. It's a long season. He's not played this long of a season,
Yeah.
And so maybe he's a little tired. But we're at the last 20 games. Let's go for broke.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still, I think, in the playoff hunt. Let's do it. These other guys, some of these guys are going to be retiring. Doughty's got what next year, right? Or
Who?
does he have 2? Doughty, or does he have 2 more years after this?
Let me look that up.
I mean, Gavrikov is a unrestricted free agent at the end of the season if we don't sign him. Kopitar has 1 more year. The other thing is,
Drew Doughty has 2 more seasons after this.
Okay.
Kopitar
next season
is after next year. So you have for sure Kopi and Doughty together for 1 more season after this season.
But what I'm saying, the other thing I want to say is, why aren't we putting Byfield in a position to shine? I mean, we got Laferriere Granted, he's a right-handed shot on the number one power play. Byfield's on the second one. He had his best year last year, but what power play was he on? He was on the number one power play last year. I mean, we got to let him shine. If he's the key for us to move through the playoffs. Him, Clark, some of these young guys. I mean, really. I mean, anyways, let's go to Duck News, Cody.
All right, Ducks news. Let me get back to my. All right, Ryan Carpenter for the San Diego Gulls was named the AHL Player of the Month for February. So congratulations, Ryan Carpenter. That's the last 2 out of 3 months the San Diego Gulls had a player that was the AHL Player of the Month. So congratulations to you, Ryan Carpenter. And then per Derek Lee, who, if Ducks fans give him a follow, he's great. He usually gets interviews with the Ducks players during practices and everything and interviews them. He got this quote from Brian Dumoulin. He says, "You can see just a diehard following here of this team. I didn't realize how many loyal, passionate fans they have here in Anaheim." Yes, and that is what Brian Dumoulin said. Sadly, but Brian Dumoulin is no longer a Duck, because if you guys found out yesterday, we did our little our now annually trade deadline recap and stuff like that. So if you guys want to follow all the trades, even though we missed a few, but I don't know how, I even refreshed it yesterday, but there's only like 2 or 3 that we really missed. So, but all the main ones we covered yesterday, so you can go back on that and listen to that. And then here's a quote from Pat Verbeek. "Having Zellweger and Minchikov miss games became a problem that I did not like. It was a defensive logjam. So that's, I think, part of the reason why, that was the main reason why Dumoulin was traded. Now, Zellweger and Minty are going to be playing pretty much every game. Killington, the one that we got back from the Islanders, he's more going to be a 7th defenseman. So, and then Pat Verbeek on Gibson. "I took calls on John Gibson, so there was an active market for him. But at the end of the day, we probably have a top 5 goaltending tandem in the league. Unless it makes sense for me and our organization to improve the team, then it doesn't make sense for us to move John Gibson at this time," which I completely agree with. I 100% agree with on that. Like, don't do it if it doesn't make sense. So good on Verbeek for that. I'm not mad that Gibson is still here. So I'm good with that. Last bit of news is, who is Herman Traff? Well, let me tell you. He is the player that we did receive from the New Jersey Devils for Brian Dumoulin. He is a winger. He's 6'3", 216 pounds, shoots right. He is a New Year's Eve baby. He's 19 years old. He is from Sweden. He was the draft pick, 91st overall. So he was in the 2024 draft, 3rd round, 91st overall. Right now, he is playing in the Swedish Hockey League. His strengths. This is all from the Pawn Press, so I appreciate the Pawn Press for posting this. His strength is physicality, size, his frame. He uses his 6'3" frame effectively in board battles and forechecking. Skating moves well for his size, maintaining strong balance and agility. His versatility, can play both wings and occasionally a center, adapting to team needs. His weaknesses are consistency, needs to maintain a high level of play throughout games, decision making, can rush plays under pressure, leading to turnovers, and offensive creativity. He relies on straightforward plays, could add more unpredictability. Player comparables is Tage Thompson, Rupe Hintz, a big-bodied forward with strong skating and physical play. I could tell you this, Ducks fans. If your player comparable is Tage Thompson and Rupe Hintz, I am ready for this kid to come up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Two studs.
Yeah. Scott Wheeler from the Athletics says he has a quick release, both leaning into one and on curl and drags and adjustments. Pucks come off his blade hard. He plays hard and physical hockey. He's got a motor and a willingness to get after it. He plays a reliable game off the puck and could potentially be a penalty killer with the right development. Herman has 1 year remaining on his SHL contract. He's still developing and will benefit from another season in Sweden before making the jump to the goals, continuing a progression that has only become more promising since his draft year. He is a prospect deserving of an NHL contract and a chance to develop into a reliable depth scoring option while also adding a strong physical presence. So that's a little bit about Herman Traff. I don't know exactly how to say it, but after reading that was my first time really reading it. I'm excited for this game. And Ducks fans, you also got to remember, we traded for Brian Dillman for a 4th round pick. And in return, we got, 60 something games with Dumoulin. And he played really well with the Ducks. And we got a 2nd round pick and Herman Traff back for Dumoulin. I would say that's a great use of your transactions right there. I know there's another term for it, but I lost it. So I'm excited for that. Next bit of news, or that is it for Ducks news.
Yeah.
So league news, we already mostly covered all the major signings and major trades yesterday. The only other league news I really found was the Devils lost center Jack Hughes to a season-ending shoulder injury, which he got surgery on already.
Right.
So,
that's another big loss. 2nd year in a row they lost him
Yeah.
towards the end of the season. You know, what a talent. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine having 3 kids and they're all in the NHL?
That's just crazy.
I mean, that's a testament to the athletic ability of their offspring. I don't know. Was their dad a big hockey player?
I don't think so. But like I said, we did miss some trades yesterday. So I believe the last one we ended on was the Brandon Carlo trade.
Correct.
So I'm gonna just go over these. I don't know if you have the cap wages up or not.
I don't have it right this minute. I can pull it up.
Most of them are just minor trades. There's, I would say, two bigger trades. All the small ones is the Toronto Maple Leafs acquired Reese Johnson from the Minnesota Wild, and Minnesota got future considerations. Next one was Carolina received Mark Jankowski from Nashville in exchange for a Carolina 2025 5th round pick. This was one of the bigger trades. Apparently, this trade happened with 27 seconds left in the trade deadline. The Ottawa Senators received Fabian Zetterlund, Tristan Robbins, and a 2025 San Jose 4th round pick in exchange for Zach Ostapchuk, Noah Gregor, and Ottawa's 2025 2nd round pick. So Fabian Zetterlund is no longer a Shark, which I thought he was doing really well there. So, and then
I do have it. I do have it. No, yeah.
You want to go for the next one?
The Philadelphia, Colorado one?
Yep.
Yeah, Giovanni Smith went to Philadelphia, a right winger, and Colorado got right defenseman Eric Johnson.
He's going back to Colorado.
Yeah.
You want to do the next one? I'll do the last one.
Daniel Asul went to Boston, and New Jersey Devils got center Mark McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Not big trades. The last one's probably bigger.
Yeah, this bigger, but not the biggest. New Jersey Devils receive right winger Cody Glass and left winger Jonathan Gruden. And in return, Pittsburgh got right winger Chase Stillman and New Jersey's 2027 third round pick.
Yeah.
So that was just like I said, not major trades that we missed. It's not like, the whole Brandon Carlo going to Toronto or Brad Marchand going to Florida. God, I still can't believe he's a Florida Panther. Can you imagine on a line you can have Marchand, Bennett, and Kachuk?
What a brutal line.
Oh my god! Oh, I could tell you if I was going against them and that's the line I had to go against, I'm like, nope, next line, go. You guys go.
Well, if you think about it, Kachuk's out to the playoffs, from what I understand.
I meant, yeah, I know.
So getting Marchand is going to help them.
Right now, he's injured right now, but he should be back within the next week or so, they said.
Yeah, and I heard it was all about the money. Sort of like Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. And I guess Boston didn't want to show him the money.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
They can always bring him back. Oh, all right.
And that happens.
Yeah.
True.
Player of the week. I when I was doing the notes yesterday, I looked at it. I started laughing at yours.
So, player of the week is the Kings' opponents. I mean, how can you say anything else? They went 0 for 3 or 4.
3.
Well, yeah, okay, 0 for 3.
You only had 3 games.
Oh, that's 4 games. The predictions. We have to do that yet. So, the king of the week is their opponents because they got outplayed. I mean, what's the term? They got beat like a rented mule. You never heard that before, Cody?
No, I've heard. Sorry, I was just trying to add to the notes. But
okay.
You're done with yours?
Yes, I couldn't, in all honesty, pick somebody when we played that bad.
And I take it your jester of the week will be the LA Kings.
It's the team, the whole team.
So my player of the week, man, I could have chose so many players for this one. Like, I know we didn't have the best of week or anything, but there was a lot of good things. But I'm gonna go with the guy who just got called up and has scored 3 goals in 3 games. I know there's other players that have had better stats this week, but I like his game. He forechecks well. He's always like, you notice him on the ice for good reasons. So I'm going to go with Sam Colangelo as my Ducks player of the week. And then my lame duck of the week is going to be the power play coach.
I've already picked on him a lot. So
yeah.
And now we need to go to predictions.
Predictions, yep.
Yeah.
I'll go first this time.
Okay. We each have 4 games.
Yeah. So on Sunday, which is tomorrow.
Okay, but before we start that, okay, let's get an agreement that we got to do a better job. We've been awful. Okay, I mean, you had a hot streak after I first said it, but
you jinxed me.
You cooled off. We're as bad as I have. What was I? I mean, I am now 27 and 25. And what was I? Let me just turn the page.
Okay, first of all, if I was good at predicting games, don't you think I'd be so much richer by now?
I was 24 and 11. So now I'm 3 and 14 in the last 17 games. So I am at 27 and 25. Don't pick on me too bad. You're 22 and 31.
Oh, but you jinxed me. And like I said, if I was good at predicting games, I would be rich by now.
Okay. Now you can go to predictions.
So if we ever get a betting sponsor, which I hope we do, I just eventually or something like that. But please just don't pick our predictions unless somehow if we get better at this. But okay, so tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, the Anaheim Ducks will be hosting the New York Islanders, and I'm predicting a 4-1 win for this one. Yep. Remember they don't have Brock Nelson anymore, so they lost their best player, and I think Barzell's still injured. So, and then on Tuesday, the Ducks host the Eastern Conference leader, the Washington Capitals. The reason why I made this game so bad is because I want OV to score more goals. So I have the Ducks losing this game 6-2, and I hope OV has a hat trick, just so he can get closer to Gretzky. And then the Ducks have a back-to-back. They play against the Utah Hockey Club in Utah, and I'm just going with the flow on this one pretty much. Since every game has been a 5-4 win for the Ducks, the first two games were both 5-4, so I'm predicting another 5-4 win for the Ducks. I'm just going with how everything else has been. And then on Friday, the Ducks will be hosting the Nashville Predators, and I am predicting a 3-2 loss.
So you predict them going 2-2.
2-2.
Well, last week
and watch, it's gonna be the complete opposite. They're gonna lose the games I predict them to win, and then they're gonna win the games I predict them to lose.
Well, I predicted the Kings to win all 3 games last week, and they got outscored 13-6 in those games. Yeah, so close. So the Kings are playing probably right now, and I have not looked at the score, if there's a score, so don't say anything. I'm going to predict because St. Louis seems to be Dallas from last year. They beat us twice. They're going to beat us 3-2 today. Then we spanked Vegas at home, and now we're going to Vegas, and Vegas is going to be mad, and they're a better team, I think. I have us losing that game 4-2. And then we're going to be back home playing the Islanders, and I have the Kings winning that game 3-2. And then we're playing the Washington PLDs. And I have that game us losing 1-4. I think Washington's the best team in the East.
Is it going to be the PLD revenge tour that day?
I don't know. I go, the funny thing is, you just put someone in a different scenery, and look, what a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, Kemper was awful last year. PLD was awful last year, and they both. I mean, it hasn't been Kemper's fault that we're losing these games. No. He 5 in a lot of categories. I don't know if he's still there, but he was top 5 save percentage and goals against average. So he's been good, but PLD has come into his own and playing for Washington. So
yeah,
and that's my predictions. So
all right. Well, last thing before anyone that's listening on the stream, please drop your questions in the comments, and we can answer them right after. Last thing before we have any, if we have any questions, the race for Gretzky. So currently, Wayne Gretzky, the race for Gretzky, there's 894 goals. Right now, Alex Ovechkin's at 885, so he's 10 away from beating the record.
Wow.
10 away.
After that terrible year last year, he's definitely picked it up.
And I believe, let's see if I can find it. They have, where is it? Yeah, Capitals. Schedule. They have played 63 games, so they have 19 games left? Yeah, they have about 19 games left. 19, 18. They don't have the easiest of schedules. I mean, they got the Kraken, the Ducks, the Kings, the Sharks, Red Wings, Flyers, Panthers, the Jets, Wild, Sabres, Bruins, Hurricanes, the Blackhawks, Islanders, Hurricanes again. Then they got a home and home against the Blue Jackets, and then the Islanders and Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's in Pittsburgh for the last game. So,
Wow. Okay.
But on that, do you have anything else?
Nope.
Well,
Not this week.
we don't have any questions in the comments or anything, so let me double check the Facebook. Melvin Johnson says, "Let's go, guys." So thank you, Melvin. I got to figure out a way to get our Facebook to be able to post questions to the StreamYard because somehow it's not going through. But what's up, Melvin? I appreciate the comment. But on that, ready to get out of here?
I am.
Yep.
Going on vacation. Next time you see me, I'll be in the Lone Star State
with Mikko Rantanen.
I wish I could go to a game, but I'm not sure. That would probably be too kind of hard. I'm there to see my grandkids.
See, are they
playing? And just relax.
Let's see. Are they playing while you're out? Let's see if they're where they're at. Schedule. Let's see.
That's a long drive to go to Dallas.
No, they're not going to be. They have a full 4-game road trip. They have Edmonton, and then Vancouver the next day. Then 5 days later, they play in Winnipeg, and then they play in Colorado.
So next year, we're all going to go to Texas. You can finally go see your sister in Texas, and we'll talk to Justin and get tickets for us, and we'll all go to a Stars game. I don't care who they're playing.
I don't care either.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the Stars. Maybe it was we could cheer the home team on. Yeah. I don't know. I just go have some fun. I mean, I eventually I'd love to do that at every arena. Just go and watch a game because I just love hockey.
Well, I know we probably need to do a Royally Quacked to San Jose and Utah. Those are the two closest, I would say. That
Vegas.
Oh yeah, in Vegas, yeah.
Vegas is closer than San Jose.
Oh yeah, by like half the distance, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, for me, we've gone to Anaheim many times.
Yeah, and we've been to LA a lot.
Yeah.
But I've been to more baseball stadiums than I have hockey arenas.
Yeah.
And I want to change that.
Me too.
So, I guess is Utah? Would Utah be closer than San Jose or no?
I think it might be.
It's close. It's gonna be close. I'm gonna do homework on that.
Well, I think it depends on where our friend lives in Utah is closer than maybe Salt Lake City is.
Well, I'll look up from our location to the arena.
There you go.
Itself.
Well, one day, and when I retire, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
If not you, me and Mom will go.
Well, then it's not Royally Quack goes.
Well, Royally goes.
Yeah, the Royally.
I would prefer. It would be fun to go with you. I would enjoy that. One thing is, it's nice when your adult children like to spend time with you.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I saw the look.
But all right,
I'm not going to make any further comment to that because your mom's probably listening.
Oh, she's not on the Instagram one, but she will be listening later on. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right,
the dog's going crazy, so I got to find out what's going on.
Okay, so we'll make this quick. Everyone, please don't forget to follow us on all social media accounts. Please also subscribe and like to our YouTube and Twitch channels. We'd really appreciate it. The more subs, the better. Please help us at least get to 50 by the end of the season. That's right, 50 by the end of the season. That would really help us out a lot. Don't forget to tell your family and friends about our podcast and live stream. Don't forget to also follow the network, Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. The link tree is in the description below. Go follow them. They have a bunch of amazing shows. Even if you're not a hockey person, They got baseball, they got wrestling, they got basketball. Baseball season is coming up soon. So opening day is, I believe, 19 or 20 days away. So don't forget to go check them out. I know Frankie the Yankee, he's going to be posting a lot. He's always commenting on our show. He's the one that did the live stream with me during the USA Canada Championship game. So please go follow everyone there.
Yes.
They have an afternoon show every day at 11 o'clock Pacific time, but they're mostly all East Coast people, so it's really afternoon for them. So it's 2 o'clock Eastern time for them. So go give them a follow. Sometimes I'm commenting on it or listening to the show. So, anything else before we head out of here?
Nothing else.
All right. Well, just remember, let's go Ducks.
And go Kings, go.
We'll see you guys
See you
next
next
week.
week.